Okay, what we have before us today is the Pegasus Hobbies M.L.E.V 5. It is Artist Signature Series. The other Artist Signature Series I have built is the Mercury 9. This is a very big box, okay? To give you an idea, there's an X-Acto knife. This box is bigger than any model box I have here. It is bigger than the 1/350 boxes for the Enterprises. The TOS Enterprise, the NX01, and the Refit. It's bigger than any of those boxes. I'm looking around the room and I do not have one bigger. The only one that might have the same volume is the Fine Molds Millennium Falcon box. So what I'm going to do is move the camera, okay? And I'm going to put this thing on the floor. It's the only way I'm going to fit the whole thing in frame at once. So I'm going to move the camera, open the box, and let you guys see what's inside. Before I do that, though, we can do the box art, can't we? Let's turn the box on the side. Now, it includes resin astronaut figures. There's 2 figures. And there's some details on this side of the box. Let's turn the box to the other side. And it's just a blueprint drawing for the side of the box. You're not missing much. So I'm going to stop, put the camera in a different position, and put this thing on the floor because it's not going to work any other way. Okay, everyone. I have a pretty massive tripod. If you watch the video where I announced I had this, you would have seen the tripod. And right now it's about 7 foot tall. And that's what I have to do to get this thing in frame. I've zoomed the camera just a teeny bit. So let's open the box. Yeah, you can start to see how big the box is. Of course it won't open. I'm doing this on camera. Open. Well, at least they put it in a big sturdy box. There it goes. There we go. We have the box open finally. And it's like a Gundam kit. That box is full of plastic. Just full of plastic, some large parts here. There's a window frame. I wonder what scale is this thing? 1/32 scale. Almost in scale with some of the Mach-K kits. We have 3 identical sprue here. Sprue there. One there. So far, no small little parts. These must be for the lights. Reflectors for the lights. We get to the directions down at the bottom of this pile. I'm going to pull those out. I'm going to put all these parts back. This is an identical sprue with this one. I haven't seen the rocket motors yet. This one back in. This one back in. These 3. These 2. This one. On this side, we have... There's one of the rocket motors. And they're going with some nice injection on that rocket motor. They could probably package those for a sci-fi kit builder, so I'm going to tell you that right now. And disappointed here, they're in halves, which means that's going to be fun for some seam filling. Oh yeah, that is. Lots of fun with seam filling there. And this must be glass or something because it's really well packaged. Nope, there's the glass. It looks to be packaged and separately, and it looks like there is a protective film on top of it. So it makes me wonder what this is. Oh, this is more glass. This is more clear plastic. It comes with some photo etch, some decals, not very many decals. There's some foil in there, metal foil. Haven't found the figures yet. Figures are inside here. This is the top and bottom halves. I've got breakfast bowls that are way smaller. And a few more parts. Okay, now, having taken everything out of the box and letting everyone see what's inside the box here, what I should do next is reposition the camera and let us start seeing. I don't know if I'm going to open some of these some of these bags, but let us start looking through the directions on this thing. Because the directions, well, there's 28 pages. Like I said, this feels more like a Gundam kit than anything. Because there's so much sprue. Yeah, I'm getting the fun of looking at the directions before you guys do. That's not fair. So let me cut the camera off. I'll reposition so we can go through the directions page by page. All right, everyone. Here's the directions. 1/32 scale. As I go through them, I'm finding some stuff I don't like. Not surprised. Okay. And here we go. I like this because this is exactly what Bandai does with their model kits. They give you a sprue layout, especially on their bigger kits. They're telling you there's 2 of those, 3 of those, 3 of those. That's what the X3s mean. And they're showing that there's some wire. I didn't find the wire when I was looking through there, but I didn't open everything really well. I'm afraid this video is going to get far too long. Alright, so when we start looking through here, it has a full interior. We have the interior control panel assembly. Now, parts of these are clear, so you can put decals over them, and they will have displays that look good. Now, part of the problem with them being clear is, well, you got to mask and paint, but that's okay. But that way you can backlight them and have them look good. Over here we have some more panels for the interior and a console. And then we get the interior control panel assembly. You put it down. And then we got our sleep chambers, which is kind of funny because you have full detail on the sleep chamber and then you put parts over them. But it looks like some of this is clear because GP are clear parts. So you'll be able to see in there. They have clear doors over them. Okay, we have the command seats and we have more control panels there. Okay, more clear panels over decals so we can do more backlighting here. Okay, then we have the rear interior hatch, the rear hatch assembly. And then the ceiling with more clear parts. And it has a command figure and it says, put the command figure here. Well, you could put the command figure wherever you wanted to. That's one of the resin figures. Then we start the thruster assembly, and there's 4 of these, and this is the part I didn't like when I was looking through the box, that this is in 2 halves. Okay? And with the detail on there and the 2 halves, that is going to be a lot of fun taking care of that seam. That's the one thing I didn't like, especially when I saw some of the thruster bells were one piece, which means no seam on those, just nub marks to remove, which is much simpler. Some more exterior detail panels that go on here. Start putting the thrusters in. Okay. And these are the ones that are one piece. These are the ones that are not. More panels, more detail panels on the other side. We're halfway through the directions here. Come on, cooperate. Now we get to the part I didn't like. Okay, these are more detailed parts on the left panel. And this is the part I don't like. That you have a left and right panel that attach to the interior. The reason I don't like that is you've got this highly detailed interior, and the only way you can see it's through the front glass. It's either that, or you have the ship where you can take it apart. And it doesn't look like this is going to want to be able to take apart well, because there is a band that wraps around this thing, in addition to this being the left side and the right side. So it's not going to be, you're going to lose half the detail. It's going to be there, you're going to know it's there, but friends that come over to look aren't going to be able to see any of that detail. And that loses me a teeny bit. Okay, then you finish putting the banding around the outside, and you put the two halves together. And then we have the front window and the top antennas. And then we start doing landing gear. And the chassis frames. More chassis frames. And more chassis frames. There's 2 of these things, 1 for each side. Oh, 3 of these things. Sorry. And it goes together like that, and the whole thing goes on the bottom side. So the point being is, once you get this together, you can't look at the interior except for through this big window. Okay? And again, that bothers me a little bit, because what's the point in having this really nice interior if you can't see it? Now, color scheme is white, gray, medium gray, flat black, silver, flat red, medium blue, flesh, and brown. Most of the colors are on the astronauts themselves. The ship itself is just flat black. The motor bells are silver. Well, I wouldn't paint silver, I'd paint something else. The ship itself is gray, flat gray, and flat light gray. Okay. And I don't know if I'd follow the paint scheme on this too much. I'll probably paint it slightly different, but that's just me. I'm just disappointed that you can't pull like the top half off and look at the interior. But you know, it is what it is. You light that interior properly, people will stare through those windows for 20 minutes trying to see it. Let me get some of the sprue out and let's take a look at that. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm not going to go through all of them, because this is a big, big box with big, big parts. And it'll take too long to do so. Okay? And as I was afraid, you can't see through the plastic very well. So I'm going to have to open the plastic. Okay, here's that interior center band. And these are center bands, and this is that one rocket bell. And there is still a mold line along there where the 2 halves of the mold came together. Okay? So you're going to have some sanding, but there won't be seam filling, which is heaven on something like that. There's some nice detail on these parts. Very nice detail. This is going to be fun to put together, I think. I'm not going to open this one because the only real panel to look at is right here. And if I angle it right, you guys can see it through the plastic. We have 4 of these. Some of these are one piece. Here, let me open this one. We have 4 of these, so I'll open one of these so we can see some of it. My knife blade's getting a little dull. We have 4 of these that are identical. I've said that like 6 times. I can't imagine that that seam line is going to be fun to get. At least their grooves, and there's only one raised spot right here. That seam line isn't going to be fun. This one here, these smaller engine bells, they're not too bad. At least I can say that for them. Okay? They're not too bad, and these are going to make some nice, I can see some kit bashers' eyes lighting up when they see some of these. Well, you get 4 sprues of these. Let me set that aside. Now, clear glass is the size of my palm. So you've got enough to look through to see that interior. I just wish you could take the top off to see the interior better. I'm going to go ahead and open this so we can get a look at the figures. There's the wire. I didn't see in the directions where you use it, but there's some wire there. This must be for the ceiling in the control panel. There is wire. Figures are here. I want to see how clean they are. Some nice detail on this little guy. Arms are off, so you could add them. Here's the commander. I'm looking and not showing. That's bad of me. There's the commander. He's got some nice detail. Okay. There is a clear piece that goes over the top of this. So there's a dome over that. His head and arms are separate in his little armored spacesuit. So the figures are looking pretty nice. Here's the missing head. Okay. So the figures are looking pretty nice. I understand why they did them in resin. There are no real seam lines on them, so there will be minimal work on the figures other than painting them. And I am not a figure painter, so that will be interesting. Interesting and fun at the same time. Okay, I've cut it open, so might as well pull this out. These are the 2 halves. Now, there is a central divider piece. They don't go together. So you're getting an idea how wide this thing is just right there. It won't even fit on frame easily. It's not going to be small. I think it might fit into the IKEA display though. That would be nice, wouldn't it? These 2 parts are not exactly identical. Let me go ahead and put this back between them, which is good to know. Alright, I'm going to stop the camera, put all these back in the box. Oh, wait a minute. There's still more on this side I can get to. This is the ceiling, where that round disc probably sits right around the top of this. And here's the floor. And I like how it has the little latches for the floor. I'm laughing because I look over and my cat's sleeping. I'm not going to open the glass packages, so we're not going to take a look at that per se. I just don't want to take the risk of it getting scratched up. There's the gold foil again. And here's the photo etch. The photo etch, you got a photo etch ladder and a few other details. That's nice that they include the photo etch. That means there isn't very much in the way of upgrade parts that you need to buy. Of course, this thing is pricey. Anyhow, I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to go and put those parts away and start on the other side. Okay, here is the chromed parts. I never did see where they went. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm sure they're for the floodlights. Yeah, they're going to be, and there's plenty of floodlights on this thing. And I wonder what size LED will fit through them because I left them hollow for LEDs. I know that Pegasus Hobby was working on a lighting kit for this. They're not selling it. Someone else will. but I won't be buying a lighting kit. I will be making my own. Okay, this is working on the landing gear. Here's part of the assembly frame for the landing gear. Okay. This is the window frame. Nice and detailed here. And I wonder if we're getting some of the interior parts. I think these are some of the interior parts. Which means lighting them is going to get to be something of a challenge. Yeah, these are interior parts right here. Because these are the control panels. Right in here. That. You put a decal down and put a clear piece over it. So you could backlight that with an LED behind it. You'll just have to light block from the back. Coming in, we have the window frame. Nice detail on that window frame. Okay, this must be landing gear because we have 3 identical sprues. Yep, 3 identical sprues. And you can see the foot right there for the landing gear. You can see there's some nice detail on here. Some fine little parts that we might want to do with brass. Don't know, because bending 6 of those would be trouble. Getting them all exactly the same would be trouble. Here's more interior parts. Here's the command console. Okay. This would be the sleeping quarters. There's plenty of room in the kit to do lighting. That's a good thing. You will be able to put power supply, not power supply, wiring everywhere inside there. That's not going to be a problem. There's the doorway to the sleeping quarters. Right there. Another engine bell, probably for that one off we have. It's by itself. Nice piping and detail work for those of you that like to paint. And there are 2 of these, so I'm only going to bring one over. We have command chairs right there. Nice detail on the command chair. And that looks like one of the sleeping bunks. Okay? So it looks like there's a lot of work in this box. Well, it's a big box. It's a big model. There should be a lot of work to it. When will I start on this? Who knows? I've been kind of slow as of late working on models. Life has been in the way, but we're getting that settled down to where I'm going to start having time again. I know I keep saying that, but it's the truth. Mainly because I've almost got the whole house done. All I'm working on right now are income taxes and this thing. I finished it yesterday. I will make a final video as soon as I give it a test. Scale model of a 555 timer chip. Reverse scale model, we should say. Because there's the original, there's the large scale model. Complete with little pigs on the sides. So, I need to give this a test. If it's functional, you're going to see that in a video, and then that's done, and I can start working on stuff. I will talk to you guys later.